Use a word that don't mean nothing, like lift it. I sang on Do What You Like, and if you missed it, I'm the one that said just grab them in the biscuits.
Years ago, America passed the 28th Amendment, virtually enslaving anyone with special abilities into government service, or forcing them to live as ordinary citizens. With his team disbanded, America's foremost protector and hero for a century had been betrayed by the very institution he swore to serve. Erased from its history books, his every exploit was covered up. Now, in a place called Little Bighorn, the greatest hero America has forgotten will come out of retirement to take down the very institution he once served, assembling a new team of superpowered individuals wielding abilities never before witnessed. In a country that has banned its heroes, it's time to root for the criminals. Let's start a new revolution.
Psychically, I'm very well endowed.
I wanna know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I wanna know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Hey there, this is Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. Let me do a sound check right quick. Make sure. Hey there. All right, we're doing good. I have several miscues here, but yeah, Bayonet. Evidently, the Twitter or X, whatever, X Twitter, doesn't count to the viewer. And also it doesn't post any link to the actual video. So I had an incident happen yesterday about that. Somebody was like chewing me out, and turned out to be somebody I blocked. Anyway, I let me go ahead and let me post. Like I did yesterday, let me post a link to this particular show. 1 second here. Find it. Anyway, but yeah, I'm over on YouTube. If you've subscribed to my channel, it should pop up as that I'm, live. If you're not subscribed, type in the rabbit hole, and it'll pop right up. Our telepathic bunny it'll pop right up. Anyway, probably telepathic bunny. I think there's other rabbit holes, but this is the only telepathic bunny rabbit hole. Anyway, so that's going on right now. If you want to come on, Bayonet, I'll send you a link, man. I love having conversations with people. Trying something new today. I moved my router closer to this room and used a shorter DSL cord. to see if it improves things any. Okay, my lighting rig's a little problematic there. Anyway, yeah, I need to do lighting source. Or note to self. There we go. It's all further away. All right. So here we are. We are on New Year's Day. I did post that this was going to be the last Breaking Bunny, and the reason why is I'm no longer at the place that I was when I created Breaking Bunny. I was at basically mentally. I was at a real low point, and but I needed a consistent show. Mondays, the only person streaming is the guy that streams every freaking day, Devil Flyer. Every time you turn around, and well, anyway, so it's a pretty decent time for me. So I turned my Monday show, which was the Weekend Hangover, which is supposed to be talking about stuff that happened over the weekend. Never quite worked out that way, but I turned that show into Breaking Bunny, and so here we are, 30 episodes in. I had a lot of good episodes. I've had episodes where nobody showed up. The two episodes surrounding my unboxing and when I finally got the Wreck Planet executive box, I did a couple shows on that, and both of them were like nobody showed up. Not sure what happened there. I don't know. I think that just possibility that maybe Ethan Van Sciver is not as universal as he used to be in this space. Um, you know, that's a possibility. So there's some people that swear by him, and there's some people that swear at him. But that show was particularly underrepresented. No one showed up for that one. And but then next week I did a different thing, and I had a full panel. About 3 people showed up for the panel, and it was a lively discussion, and we had a really great time. Um, so go figure. If you're a streamer or a YouTuber for any amount of time, there's days, down days, and there's up days. There's shows that everything's effortless, and then there's shows that's shoveling shit from a seated position. Uh, and I've had some pretty decent shows here lately. I'd like to talk about one last Friday night that changed my perspective on some things. It was actually a continuation from Thursday night before when I was on Jones Longbox. He had Mandy, disappear on him right before a show, and he needed some people to pop on, and so he sent invites out, and I wound up on the show with somebody called by the name of Nick Axe. He works with RJ from the Fourth Age comic book channel. He works on Chrome. RJ's, Barbarian comic homage to Barbarian comics. And basically, he kind of opened up my eyes to a lot of things in the marketing realm. Okay. Now, I described it the other night. They didn't quite take to this description, but I still think it's pretty apt. But, marketing in this space, marketing in independent comics is about like wandering around the yard looking for rakes. Every once in a while you hit one and pow, right in the face. You're like, oh, something happened there. What do I do now? What did I do there? Can I replicate it? And so, to say that me personally, I'm speaking to myself, to say that my marketing has been kind of a mess, a little lackluster, is I've got the product, so people aren't buying the product, and it's because my marketing's not there. And so I've been working on some product creation this week. I've been working on some, you know, some specific ideas. I've been kind of working them out, and all for this channel, all for my fans, the people that are going to be fans of community service. Anticipating that I'll have fans from the rabbit hole and I'll have fans from community service. Uh, Check out the merch packages that I have on Teespring right now. The link is below if you want to check them out. But I've got several things going on right now on that. But it took me a little while to figure out how to, get the files transferred in a way that's satisfactory to me. But yeah, so that's one of the things I've been doing this week. But the thing about last Friday's show was the point was made that the point was made that when it comes to marketing, right now there seems to be a lot of outrage marketing going on. And not just in our space, there's people on YouTube that basically that's their bread and butter. They play to the outrage, they play to people's negative emotions. Remember this thing? Remember this thing you love? Look what they're doing to it. Doesn't that make you mad? That particular energy is a way to make money on YouTube, man. It's a way to get a big, huge subscriber count and get people loyal to your cause. And pretty rabid fans that will, you indicate somebody needs to, leave the social media, they'll jump right on it. Trust me, I know. However, through this discussion with Nick Axe and his buddy Crawl the other night, I realized that that's a dead end. Right now, the outrage is really stoked because people feel impotent that they can't control the companies that formerly catered to them and now seem hostile towards them. And decisions are being made that are completely, totally, almost aimed at outrage to make people mad. As a matter of fact, it's a marketing strategy now to make people mad in your audience, and they'll talk about it, and they'll tell other people, and they'll talk about it, and it counts as engagement on social media. And so there's projects that just they pursue that. Let me tell you what's wrong with this. Let me tell you what's going to make you mad about it. And people click. Hey, Happy New Year, Silvar. What's up, dude? Thank you for coming. But that model presupposes one thing, that people are going to keep feeling impotent forever, and they're going to keep mad forever. But the truth of the matter is apathy sets in at some point. My current job, I've been at it for 13, 14 years. The reason I don't know exactly is because I've kind of shut it out in my brain. That's tells you the state of my feelings towards my job. But there was once upon a time where, I was paying attention. I was into it. I was, complaining about stuff when things, were wrong. I you know, complain to the boss man. I'd give feedback to the office. Yeah, outrage farming, clickbait marketing is also Marxist subversion tactics. Yeah, right, right. Um, but once upon a time, I used to actually care. I used to actually, put forth effort, put forth energy to hopefully that things would change, that things would, you know, I could, move up. I could be promoted. I could alter my fate. Uh, and then, I watched, you know, thing after thing happen that had nothing to do with meritocracy, had nothing to do with experience, and had everything to do with the progressive stack and hiring practices of our HR. And I watched as, everybody of a certain skin color was pushed on to second and third shift. And the first shift looks like the United Nations, and a lot of people there that haven't been there 5 years. And it was the first shift was supposed to be the best of the best, creme de la creme, the most experienced, the people with the highest numbers. And then it no longer became that. And so now, when I go there, I don't put forth any effort. I don't pay attention. There's a company announcement. I let it roll off my back. Why? Because I can't alter the outcome, and so apathy has set in. Like, what's up, Charlie Green? Happy New Year to you, man. Ho, ho, ho. Anyway, but what I'm saying is that at a certain point you can't be outraged anymore. At a certain point you run out of give an F. You run out of it. At a certain point you just don't care anymore. And this morning somebody pointed out that they're bringing Sentinel, Marvel character Sentinel, to the big screen, and they've already race swapped him to somebody else. He's a big blonde man, and they race swapped him to some little Asian guy, and it's supposed to be Sentinel, and we're supposed to see that as Sentinel. And I knew I was supposed to care, but I'm like, I won't be watching it anyway, so why should I care, right? So what happens though is eventually at the anger, the rage, yeah, Sentry, right. But the anger and rage eventually, yeah, you're right, not Sentinel, Sentry. He's absolutely right, Sentry. See, that's how much Sentinels are robots that hunt mutants. Yeah, you're right. I got my X-Men mixed in with my Avengers. That's how that's how apathetic I am about the mainstream. I got the Sentinels mixed up with Sentry. Okay, there you go. Point in it. I get them mixed up too. There you go. And you're talking to a bit X-File here. You're talking about somebody who loved the X-Men. And I was, I guess that's why I was thinking Sentinel. It's Sentry. It's Sentry. Anyway, not that it matters at this point, but it's Sentry. Okay. Which, I have mixed feelings about as a character anyway. But the thing about it is, though, is there's once upon a time I cared. It's once upon a time. Oh, James Craig. What's up, dude? Welcome. But once upon a time, that could get me. Once upon a time, I see a headline and I click it. I was like, oh, they're gonna talk about this. I'm outraged by this. Let me click on and see what they have to say. Your boy Zach. That's how I found your boy Zach, and that's why, for a while there I was backing him, and even backed his, lawsuit or whatever. But basically, I cared, they got me. I was there. I was when I saw Captain America say "Hell Hydra," I had a physical reaction. I actually got upset to the extent that I left for the day. It bothered me that much because I realized what they just done to themselves. You know that Marvel was committing suicide. Uh, what's that? Since the bunny, well, yeah, welcome, man. I appreciate it, man. You have a good day. Happy New Year. Yep, since the bunny, what I missed. Just get wound up, Jason. Just get wound up. Anyway, so yeah, when Hell Hydra happened, I got upset. It mattered. Uh, I cared. I cared to the extent that I had a physical reaction to it. I've had people who make fun of me for that. Neff made fun of me for that, but Neff is Neff. But the thing about it is his name's Nefarious for a reason. Okay, I'll just say that. All right, great guy, great guy. Have a great year. Yeah, man. Hope you watch it. Hope you watch this year. Anyway, so I had, and then like just recently, something else happened with Captain America that's just completely outrageous. Completely outrageous, and I can't even tell you what it is because I never clicked on the article. But I remember reading the headlines, and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, there you go. Audio is acceptable. Sounds like the wrong connection again. All right, let me check. It's possible.
Testing. Is that better? You tell me, Jason, if that's better. All right. So, so basically, it's a dead end. It's a dead end. Much better. Okay. All right. See, that's why you need mods, guys. That's why you need somebody, watching you. But the bottom line, though, is that I went from caring. Okay. Yeah, I'll start selecting that from now on. All right. But I stopped caring. I stopped caring about, basically, I stopped caring about anything having to do with it. I stopped caring about, let me make this change in setting right quick. Jason, this won't take long. Let me load that up. But I stopped caring to the extent that they can no longer get me. And that's inevitable. That's going to happen. And let me see here. All right. But anyway, so but that's going to happen. Okay, that's going to happen eventually. All right. But so anyway, this outrage marketing that we're seeing all around us, the guys from Saturday night, Friday or Saturday night. I think it was Saturday night. But those guys, they were talking about that positive marketing actually has a future. Positive marketing actually makes a difference in the world. Okay, positive marketing gets a lot more long-term fans than outrage marketing does, because outrage marketing depends on people's emotions staying here. And I see it all around me right now that everybody is counting on the fact that the emotions stay here. And I see a lot of the biggest commentators in the space that specialize in outrage marketing. They pick fights with people all the time. They pick fights. They roughhouse verbally. They have hot takes on their channels, trying to keep that energy up. And all that energy comes back at them. And then what do? They turn around and complain victimhood. And then there's a whole new, ball of outrage to tap into. And eventually it's like, well, if you didn't, if you don't start none, there won't be none. You know, eventually it's like, I'm not, my sympathy for your situation as about to is run out. You know, if you if this person was leaving you alone, and if you hadn't attacked them and got this reaction, then there wouldn't be a conflict here. And so eventually reasonable people are going to say, I just, I just don't feel like backing you because somebody is attacking you because you know, you're hitting yourself, you're going after them and they're defending themselves, and then you're immediately claiming victimhood, which is very similar to what the mainstream is doing. Okay. And so after a while, it's like that you look a lot like what I'm seeing in the mainstream. Because mainstream has been going on outrage marketing since 2016. Since the 2016 election, I mean, everything that they've done is like, but Trump, but Trump, but Trump, MAGA, everything is this energy level. And we're seeing now that, how exhausting that is. We're at the end of the phase, seeing how little we care about old things, still susceptible to get wound up when the next guy starts to generate that rage, right? What I'm looking forward to is substance, right? So the last Christmas, the Christmas special I did, we watched some videos, and all the videos were about good things, people doing good things in the world, and about making positive changes, making positive impact. The guys from Saturday show, once again, check it out, Comic Wars 4, marketing versus ego. But what they were talking about is one of the examples they gave was Stan Lee saying, calling the people, fans of Kamara Comics, true believers. Welcome true believers, or hi true believers, and how positive that was. Anyway, between the soy tofu restaurant and the hot dog vendor wars, I could really go for steak and potatoes, right? Happy New Year, John. Wait, welcome 1000K, the 1K guy. Welcome. I'm so glad you made it, man. I pushed for that thing. I pushed for it. So glad you made it. You're such a positive guy in this space. Which is one of the things that inspires me to make this change in the channel, is that, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. But one of the things that's inspired me to make the change in this channel, yeah, I'm not even at 500 yet, dude. It's going to be a while. But it's that watching those commercials, okay? There was one commercial in particular. It was a Taiwanese commercial. I meant to upload it, but I think I took it down. Hold on a second. But okay, yeah, I took it down. All right. But there was this commercial about this restaurant owner, and this kid was being verbally abused and attacked for trying to steal from the store owner. And this restaurant owner stood up for him, paid what he was owed, and then sent him home with some soup because he said his mother was sick. And then years and years later, this guy has like a aneurysm or something and winds up in the hospital. And his daughter, who was there for the whole thing, she was young back then, but now she's like a grown adult. His daughter was was going to sell the restaurant to pay for the medical bills because there's no way she could cover these medical bills. And you see her talking to the doctor about her options or whatever, and then she gets her bill. The surgery is evidently successful, and she gets the bill, and it says balance, zero bought. That was their monetary, their currency over there, zero. And she said, and it said the tab was paid with some medicine and a box and some chicken soup 30 years ago, or however long it was. I think it was 30 years. And it turns out the doctor was that boy. And that he spent that he was so inspired by that act of kindness that he spent the rest of his life, Doctors Without Borders and stuff like that, giving his skills away and helping other people. And that one moment in time where her father showed kindness to this little boy, was a lifelong vocation. So, stories like that are, one of the Christmas stories was, the eldest granddaughter, her grandmother's, sitting over the corner with Alzheimer's and doesn't know where she is. And she takes her on a ride. And of course it's an old Chevy, Suburban, but they go for a ride, and she starts showing her all these places that, she knew that her grandmother had told her, she had memories. And you see her grandmother start coming back. And then by the time they get back to the house, the grandmother can recognize her husband, and she's able to, see the family and be part of the family. And it's like, it tugs the heartstrings, I mean, it just gets you. It gets you. And yeah, that commercial. It's a beautiful commercial. Anybody that's known anybody with Alzheimer's or dementia, that commercial is going to get you. Benny Johnson, who's he's kind of a firebrand. He's kind of a conservative firebrand. I watched an episode that he did where he went to one of the poorest parts of Georgia. Let me see right quick. I got it my saved. But he went to one of the poorest parts of Georgia. I mean, everybody's below the poverty line there. And where's it at? Anyway, look it up. It's under Benny Johnson, but no, it's not. Oh, it's the ad. There was an ad for Chevy. Was an ad. There's a couple Coke ads that are real good. That are shown in other countries. They aren't shown here. Then you need to look up. But Benny Johnson went to this the poorest. It's like his poorest part of Georgia. Here in the South, the rural area of the South. There's a lot of poverty. Especially under this current administration. There's been a lot of rural South that has been really devastated by these policies that seem aimed at destroying the rural South. What? Read issue 5 of Folk Tales. Okay. That sounds awesome. That sounds like an awesome story premise. I love it. But he goes and he I can't ever find my way around this app. But he goes down to this place and they renovate this warehouse and create a Santa's Workshop toy store. And they give toys away for free to all these kids down there. It's like over 500 toys were given away. And they had a few special giveaways, like one of them was a father that was killed in the line of duty. They gave something to his son. Gave him a little RC car. A big, one of those cars that he can get in and drive. And it was actually a police car. He really he really loved that thing. But see, this is a guy who just most of the time his videos are so angry, and there's the, look at this, look at what they're doing now. And to see a video where he was like, joyful and enjoying it. And, and he had the right idea for the season. He was doing it for, because Jesus Christ came to earth, told that story, had it, put the verses up at the end. But, you see that guy, see the good that he was able to do because of the boosts to his channel. And most of that boost is from outraged people, really angry people that are looking for somebody to, tell them what's really going on, but he was able to turn that to good. And, here on this channel, Breaking Bunny has been about what I've been outraged at, what I've been angry at, what I've been fighting against. And I'm proud of every show I've did. I'm proud of every show that every Breaking Bunny I did, all 30 of them. If it's up in the playlist. I am proud of every one of them. Go back and watch them. A few notable ones is Girl Bosses. Do they actually work? Was a real good discussion. I had a great panel for that one. And one building a channel for dummies was really good. Very valuable information. And basically, well, most of the Breaking Bunnies, there might be a few duds in there, but I can't recall them off the top of my head. Most of the 30 ones are I'm very proud of, but I'm not there anymore. I broke the bunny. I broke the bunny down. I said what was on my heart. I fought the fight that needed to be fought. And there's plenty of people doing it. There's plenty of people, stoking the fires, stoking the flames, stoking the anger. And, telling us how much Disney sucks like we don't know at this point. And telling us about the MCU, which it's pretty much the case, now. It's like, hey, we're going to bring the X-Men in, but guess what? It's going to be an all-female team. Womp womp, Of course it is. Of course it is. Of course they're going to go all-female with X-Men. Of course they are. Of course. Of course they are. Absolutely. It's, I can't be outraged about it. I can't. If a cat kills a mouse in front of me, am I gonna get mad at the cat, for killing a mouse, which is in his nature, which is that's what cats do. Cats kill mice. So am I gonna get mad at the cat for killing a mouse? These people that are in charge of these IPs, they can only be what they are. And what they are idiots who are brainwashed idiots. They're going to put the same product out. It's going to have the same flaws. It's going to be the same FU to everybody else in America because they think they're so much better than us. They don't care about our wallets. They're looking for something bigger, more important. They're going after the kids basically. But the bottom line is they're going to put this stuff out. From now on, this is what we're going to get. And thanks to that strike, I don't see that happening anytime soon. I don't think any changes happening soon. Occasionally, there will be a Godzilla -1. Occasionally, there'll be a Top Gun Maverick. Occasionally, there'll be a Ghostbusters in Afterlife. I'm actually looking forward to the sequel. I want to see if they continue. Since the change with a lot of people I talk with over the past months, I can say I resent the thought that a year from now I'm going to wake up to watch Critical Drinker telling how bad the next Star Wars I didn't watch is. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Bunny, wishing you Happy New Year. Hey, Mrs. Good Stuff. Thank you. I hope you and Mr. Good Stuff have a very happy New Year. Good to see you. Coop, when I break up with a girl, I don't care what she does after that. I broke up with Marvel, DC, Star Wars, D&D, Doctor Who, and we're making our own stuff. I try to focus on that. Right. Exactly. My dog poops on the floor. I know she's going to do it, but I still get mad. Right. Well, yeah, but you're resigned. You're resigned to it because it's a dog. And, dogs occasionally have mishaps. My little dog, she's 14 years old. And, she's blind, she's diabetic, and she drinks a ton of water, so she's incontinent, and so she, pees all over the floor. Happens a lot. You know what I do? I clean it up and I go on, right? But hold on a second. There was a good run where I wanted to hear why everything got so bad. I wouldn't deny anyone else learning from mistakes the mainstream makes. They're not telling me anything new now. No, I think that's coming to an end. One of the problems I have with the FNT guys, that whole crew, Thinking Critical and all those guys, is that the only quote independent, producer that they're pushing is Eric July. Eric July is a multimillionaire. Eric July is not independent. Independent is somebody like my friend Shadowpunk, who did he did a 3D animated movie for 4 years. He worked on that thing. Okay. And 3D trailer for his comic. And then he puts the comic out, the campaign up, and he gets less than 7,000. And yet he still makes a top drawer comic, which he did the drawing, he did the coloring, and he did the lettering. And it's all some of the best I've seen. All of it. The guy gets less than 7,000. Now, if they were to wear a Shadowpunk shirt, and push an actual book that's going to make a difference to somebody, it's going to, make a difference. It'll make a huge difference to this guy, that got less than 7,000. And he should have had over 10. He should have had 6 figures on that comic. It's that good. And I'm hoping when he does his second chance, the people will proselytize for it better. But the bottom line is making an impact, making a change in somebody else's life, giving somebody to lift people up. Okay. They're lifting up a multimillionaire. They're lifting up a guy who basically, I decided to make a comic. So I just, dropped a $500,000, out of my pocket change to make a comic book company, opened up a warehouse. That's the guy they're pushing. They're pushing that guy. And it's like, I thought you were about the common people. I thought you were about the guys on street level. Evidently not. Okay? Evidently not. Because if you did, then you'd go over to FNT, or FMC, you find my comic, check out what they're doing over there, check out a campaign that may be pretty low, and not making a lot of funding, and then put some weight behind it. The one that looks real good, like Omega, Don draws that comic, man. I backed it. It looks awesome. And it's probably going to be a crackerjack of a comic. And then when Don's Lone Box, when he puts a comic out, I'm going to be first. I'm going to be first in line to back that thing, because this is a guy who's got a comic book collection bigger than some comic book shops, and he loves it. Loves comic books. Loves heroes. I want to see what kind of story that guy can tell. Right? Exactly. I want to see what kind of story that guy can tell. Okay. A guy who's like been independently wealthy for the better part of the last decade, and just did this on a lark. I'm not interested. I'm just not interested. But I'm interested in that guy. I'm interested in Luke Stone. The guy who took his severance package and made a website to fund, comics, specifically to fund comics and listen to all the feedback, and specifically Kurt, is basically designing his site around the needs of his customers. How many have you ever heard of that lately? I've never heard that. Not in the space. You got Indiegogo, who's shadow banning people, trying to drive comics off of their website. Then you got Kickstarter, who just some blue hair comes in with a burr up her ass someday. They'll kick your entire campaign down without even telling you why, or giving you some stupid idea or stupid reason. And but then we got Fund My Comic over here, and all these big guys All these big guys who supposedly are supporting the little guy or all for independent comics. And one, Kelsey Shannon, put his money where his mouth is. One of them. Just one of them. You know? I mean, not even the great Graham Nolan, who I respect and buy his comics, put anything on FMC. I mean, what would it hurt them to put something on FMC? It's obviously the payouts are there. It's obviously a working website. It's obviously not a fly-by-night. It's been established for it'll be established for almost a year. Come March, it will be a year. And so why are they not funding on FMC? I mean, the Leprestis are complaining that they're getting shadow banned on Indiegogo, and yet they won't move over to FMC, where they not only will not be shadow banned, but they'll be the biggest thing on the website. And so they're not putting their money where their mouth is, okay? And I respect these people. I respect them as creators. I respect them as business people. But we got this website, and you could raise it up, raise the viewership of it. And all these smaller campaigns that are going over there, because of the 3%, that they can keep their money, more of their money. And it would be great if we had bigger people. I mean, who else is over there? I know that Mike Barron's over there. You know why? Because Mike Barron got kicked off these other websites, and he went to a place that's free speech. And so Mike Barron is fulfilling comic books on FMC because he doesn't have to worry that his campaign's going to get taken down if some blue hair doesn't like the fact that private American who happens to be Hispanic is, protecting our border. I mean, don't have to worry about the trust and safety, people, because there is no trust and safety. There's only the moderators, and if you make it through their very, very limited protocol, as long as it's not pornographic and as long as it's safe for work, it can go on their website. They got some stuff that is pretty seedy on there right now that I'm like, you got one that's almost hentai. And, but as long as the campaign's not going to it meets their standards, they put it on there, and that's, Luke's not doing his own personal, feelings about it. He's doing what he said he'd do. And he's got a website that is going to be free speech. He's putting his money where his mouth is. I see this all over the place to where, and I say, I want to lift up people who, are doing a 9 to 5, who are taking time away from their kids to do this, or even, like in the case of 6 a.m. comics, including his kids, in this comic production. And those are the people I want to support. Those are the people I want to lift up. And those are the people I want to push. Okay. And I'm tired of being outraged about this crap. I'm tired of it. I'm done. The mainstream can do what the mainstream's going to do. They don't want me as a customer. They tell me every chance they get, they don't want me as a customer, and I'm listening. Okay. I got plenty of things that I can back. I mean, plenty of things right over here, right within reach. Mortal Rising, my buddy Aaron C. This comic right here, it's a good comic. It's a very good comic. And it's got Jose Garcia art, top notch. Got his own private signature on it. It's a really beautiful. Got all this paraphernalia back here, which I don't have a lot of use for, but there's a ton of it. And yeah, right under there, Perfect 10. Perfect 10, one of the best comic book series that I've seen in years. Okay, with one of the best protagonists. That lady right there at the bottom, the very voluptuous lady at the bottom, very muscular lady at the bottom. Oh, this one here, Company Man. If you want hardcore, if you want a serious comic with some, with some very serious, tones, this right here is one of the best written comics that I've had in years. Love it. I reread it often. I don't do that very often. If you want trash, okay, I've even got this one. The less is said about that, the better. But anyway, or this one here, War Party. This one right here. Great book. I've even got stuff from my iconic comics. This right here is the best horror comic. Long Harbor. The best horror comic I've ever read. And it's beautiful. And Alexandro Mirabal, if you know his work, he's very Lovecraftian. And it was written by Nashitobi, who's a Ukrainian. But that's just right at my fingertips. That's just what, somebody made this for me out of my own comic. I got way too much good stuff. This right here, my own merch store. This is an icon that was made for me by Luke Stone back when he was, when we were just first getting acquainted. And that's also one of his logos, which is 300 Spider-Man, reaching through. That's his logo. But I got too much independent stuff that's awesome. That's made with love, made with care, and people who are living paycheck to paycheck and doing this on their own time. And when they put out something, it hurts. It's a sacrifice. So why am I going to back somebody who can just drop $500,000 on a comic book company and buy a warehouse? And, it doesn't hurt him. I mean, it just, anyway, let me get caught up over here. Don't care about Eric's wealth. He can be a billionaire. What matters to me is the comic, and I saw him as just dull. There you go. Balls and Strikes. Is it good? I don't care what he represents. I don't care, is it good? And very few people will say that comic is good. So there you go. Yes, I'm going with FMC. If Luke shadow bans me, I'm sure I'll kick his asthmatic ass. Not so much asthmatic anymore. He's breathing with a high percentage of his lung capacity. He's actually singing now. There you go. Poof. Right? Yeah, I can probably take it. I don't know. Luke is a big boy. Okay. Luke is about 6'2", guys. He doesn't look it, but he's pretty large. Luke doesn't watch The Rabbit Hole, does he? Not much anymore. Not much anymore, but I do watch the Nerd Bacon. Really, I respect the guy, what he's doing. I really do. But bottom line, though, it's the leaf that I want to change. The change I want to make with this channel is I've made a commitment that I'm no longer going to talk about the mainstream. I'm no longer going to talk about the mistakes that they're making. I'm going to start talking about what's going on over here. This channel is going to be exclusively what's new in this space. Okay. I've got, I don't care what's going on over there. FNT can have that whole thing. They got it all sewed up anyway. All right. I mean, I realized the other day that, oh crap, I got the same beard as Gary from Nerdrotic, but I like the beard. Okay. I like it. I'm going to keep it, but, I just don't have enough time or concern because I'm trying to market my own book, and it's a hell of a book. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm going to have Nick Axe and Crom on as soon as I can get them back on. And we're going to talk about, marketing. We're going to talk about, we're going to talk about how things, how we can change things, get away from this outrage. Get away from the, I'm being persecuted. Please buy my stuff, which is how I got a hold of Cash Grab. Okay. I bought Cash Grab to get back at Gail Simone and Dynamite Comics. And basically I got a book that I read once and I'll probably never open it again. It's just not like, it's a good book. It's a good book for what it is. It's ribald, nasty bullet humor. But that's not my thing. But it's a good book. But, I should have never bought it because it's not my style. It's not something that but I was trying to hurt Gail Simone and trying to hurt Dynamite Comics because Ethan Van Sciver told me to. Oh, look, they're canceling this cover that I made for Ethan or for Cecil. Please buy it and show them. He went over 6 figures on Outrage, but the thing is, I'm probably never going to buy another cash grab. I'm not going to buy another comic. I'm not going to buy the follow-up. Why? Because I didn't buy it for the right reason. I didn't buy it because I thought it looked good. I didn't buy it because I thought it was a cool idea. I didn't buy it because, I'm particularly enamored with Cecil as a person. I've never gotten the whole Cecil thing. Alcoholics are alcoholics, Just because this one wears Captain Chaos gear, it's never really impressed me that much. But thing about it is I didn't buy that comic for the right reason, and I won't be buying the next one. That's just the bottom line. I think he's got a second chance campaign going on right now, which is kind of strange to me, but it is what it is. Sure enough, he's probably funding the fulfillment of the first campaign, as for all I know. I don't know what's going on with that, but none of my business. But the thing about it is there's plenty of people to push. There's plenty of products to push. There's plenty of great stuff happening in this corner of the of comic book, creation. And I got a lot of friends that I've met, like John's Longbox, like Ron from the section 7 guys. Sector 7. Was it Sector 7? The Sector 7. Those guys, they had a great comic and they were never able to make it. They were going to try again later, but they couldn't get it fulfilled, or couldn't get it funded. And they tried a couple times, but both times they didn't make it. And that's a great comic. And Ron Mozicki is a incredible artist. I've got a cover that he made me. Just hey, I want to draw something for you. I was like, oh, okay. I told him my idea, and he came up with something so incredible. I made it the cover, just out of the kindness of his heart. That guy, him and his friend, should have been funded, and they didn't make it. And there's so many comics that like that should have been funded but didn't make it, and there's so much work to do to promo this. Yeah, Ron's extremely talented. You're right. Bancroft is right. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be a rule. Speak your mind when it needs to be said, but definitely draft a mission statement about your values. Right. I'm working on it. But this guy right here, if you're not following him and his example, as a YouTuber in this space, then you're missing an opportunity, because what he's doing is exactly what I want to be, lifting people up, pointing people in positive directions, giving people a platform with more than 13 people watching, and say, here you go. Here's your opportunity. Knock it out of the park. And some people have been able to do that. I wasn't able to. But, to be honest, hindsight, I wasn't ready for it, But when I launch my Indiegogo, I plan on going back on Bancroft and doing a better job. So that's going to come later on this year. Anyway, announcing it now. All right. Because marketing, those guys convinced me that even though I have personal feelings against Indiegogo and Kickstarter, my fiduciary responsibility is to get this comic made, and by any means necessary, and get as many backers of that comic as I can get. And FMC is a great place, and I'm so happy my comic made it funded on there. But I have a responsibility to get this comic out in the world, and so I'm going to do an Indiegogo, and I'm going to do a Kickstarter later on. Maybe I can find an audience over there that just didn't find me on FMC yet. So maybe I can funnel funnel them to that. I don't know. But I'll keep my store open FMC unless Indiegogo makes me shut it to run a campaign. I don't know. But and I know at some point that they did that, but I don't know what the latest thing is. Anyway, but that's what we're gonna do on this channel. We're gonna be positive, man. We're gonna push. If I mention anything, it's gonna be about books that of smaller creators that need somebody to champion them, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I missed when there was just 13 of us watching. Well, sorry, Jason. I kind of grew a little bit, dude. Forgive me. Anyway, hoping to grow longer. Hoping to grow bigger than this. So hope you stay on the ride. But anyway, so that's been Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. Thank you all for showing up. That sounds great. I always enjoy your content when I catch it. I appreciate it, man. But yeah, I'm going to start doing more positive stuff. I'm going to do more instructional stuff. I'm going to do stuff that's going to help people. It's going to lift people up. That's going to make a difference. That's what I'm going to walk about. Anyway, I was talking about Bancroft. You got some room to grow, Bunny. There you go. All right. You're talking about Bancroft. Okay. Well, be specific. Anyway. All right. Anyway, but as always, the fluffiest chat in all of YouTube, I'm going to bring with me. We're going to make this our space. And, for all of you who love the rabbit holes and are willing to go down with me, for all you searchers and seekers, I salute you. And, oh, there you go. Yeah, Jason's an AG. Yeah, original on that channel, right? Yeah, it got pretty big. It's getting pretty big. Anyway, so that's Ben Cooper for Telepathic Bunny Comics, saying Happy New Year, and watch this space. You're gonna see a brand new show up this next week. I don't know what it's gonna be called yet. I think it's gonna be called The Good Stuff. But that I realize that's the good stuff's kind of thing, so I'm probably going to change that. I don't want to step on their thing, but it is what it is. We're going to have a new channel or new channel attitude starting this new year, and we're going to have a new show on Mondays, and maybe some other shows will be lined up. I'm going to talk to Nick Axe and Crom about maybe doing something weekly until they launch their shows, because they were. If you haven't seen that show, guys, I'm going to put it in the description below, but go back and watch that show. There is so much on that show. There's so much good stuff. I may just do a show where I just replay it. I don't know. Still needs an edgy title. Yeah, I'm working on it. But anyway, no longer the Broken Bunny. I'm planning on putting stuff back together this year. So Breaking Bunny is going to be retired. But it was a chrysalis. Did a good job of keeping my head above the water, when things went crazy. And I'm going to miss the show, but I think this is a good time to change it. Good time to make the change. But that's been Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. I've got couple shorts that are coming up that I'm going to post later. And just watch this space, and we'll go down these rabbit holes together. How about it? And we'll see what we can see when we get to the, So come along, Alice, and follow the white rabbit. And we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.